Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the In the Mixer podcast, international edition. We've got some serious international football to talk to you about with clubs, international teams making their way to Russia, sealing their fate for the World Cup in summer 2018. And with me to discuss such excitement, we have international podcaster from all the way across the North Sea. Is it the North Sea? Probably. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, Elias, hello. How are you?
Doing fine, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Joey Tribbiani. I'm doing fantastic. What about you, other presenter?
What an intro.
What about you?
I'm good, thank you.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
No, you've lost that.
Other presenter.
Other
Please.
presenter.
I'm just other presenter. I am a number, not a name.
Guest?
Binary. Just speaking binary for the rest of the podcast. Oh, yeah. So what have you guys been up to this weekend? Considering there's been a lack of club football.
Watching international football.
Oh, good.
What a perfect replacement. It's almost like they meant that.
Oh, wait.
It's almost like, it's got a reason to be there. But no, I know, Michael, you didn't actually watch international. Well, you may have done. I don't know. You also watched some club football over the weekend.
I did.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't actively protest against international football. I'm not one of those people just like, oh, international football, time to go away for a week. Like, I'm not that way inclined, but I did go and watch Doncaster Rovers play just to see what the other side was like. And I was pleasantly surprised, and Doncaster Rovers won 4-1 with a sweet strike from Ben Whiteman, which I didn't expect. I think
saw
that's
they
the
got a
best.
hat-trick, didn't they?
Yeah, he did. First senior. I don't know how old he is, so it could be impressive, might not be, but it was actually surprisingly good. And Doncaster Rovers aren't usually the best team to go and watch, as one of their fans told me on Twitter, to make sure you have your portable charger with you, which I actually did, because you'd be playing on your phone all game. But it was a pleasant game. Good to watch.
Wow. We don't condone being on your phones at live football games, ladies and gentlemen. Only Michael does. Me and Elias are completely on the other side of that.
I tried to Snapchat the penalty, but missed it.
Oh, you're one of them.
No, I'm kidding. Why did you?
You're like one of those Arsenal fans who records their face, like when there's like a corner or something.
Yeah.
But they always do the cheeky. They always do the cheeky look at the screen. So they're trying to pretend they're not recording themselves, but then they're obviously really self-aware at the same time.
Break the fourth wall.
It's so awkward. Oh my goodness. They just don't take your phones to football games, or do, but
Yeah.
just take like a Nokia 3310.
What about your bets though? And
Put them
all
on
the
before.
scores on
Put
the
them on
doors.
before.
the
Go to
scores
the
around
bookies.
the grounds.
Go to the actual shop that's on the way to the ground. There'll be one if
Live
it's not
betting.
closed.
What if you go and watch Yeovil? No bookies at Yeovil.
I'm sure there is on the way. Get Uncle Steve to drop you off just before.
It's Uncle Jeff actually, but alright.
Oh, well, most people have more than one uncle.
I have none.
You're not part. You're the outlier here.
Alright.
I'm talking about English football, not Swedish
Okay.
uncles. Goodness me,
Should-
the averages
talk
are
about-
different. Well,
Talk about international stuff. Go on.
international stuff. Well, you got your moment. Colchester won again. Can I just say against Mansfield, who were doing well. So
Oh, I'm gonna have to say. So we did start the podcast a bit earlier, and we talked about Phil's supporting of too many clubs, and I'm just saying that Colchester is one of them. So I just had to put it in because I'm angry that we've missed that part out now.
yeah. Well, Colchester won 2-0. I failed to see what your point is. Doesn't change the result.
How did Braintree get on?
Braintree. I think they won. Can't remember.
How did Plymouth get on?
They're not really my team, but they lost. Didn't get a red card though this week, so that's the first time in 5 home matches they didn't get someone sent off.
How did Tottenham get on?
That's good. Didn't play. Unless you were talking about last weekend, which
How
is
did
they beat Huddersfield
Southend
4-0, which we actually covered on that episode. But enough about that. Enough
How did
about
Wales get
Tottenham.
on?
Considering, can we just stop? Can we just
Alright,
stop?
Talk about the other teams you support and international.
I want to talk about the other teams I support international. Well, I'm a fan of many. Especially England, because that's where I was born and raised for the majority of my life. All of my life, apart from the moments when I weren't being raised because I was an adult and don't need to be raised when you're an adult.
Where
really.
were you then?
I don't know. Isle of Wight, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? I was in England. Majority of my life I've been in England. Gone to other spots in the world, on the globe. But England is the main one, and that's why we're going to talk about them first, because I'm from there.
Okay.
Okay. England qualified top of the group after a win against Slovenia at home. Excuse me. Continuously getting those mixed up. Slovakia did secure the playoff spot, though, as earlier today, Scotland very unfortunate, not to secure their playoff spot with a win away to Slovenia. Very unfortunate for them. But hey, Slovakia got through into that playoff spot, and they could be facing many a team, and we'll talk about the prospects they'll have in the playoffs and who we suspect people will get considering seedings and such. But we'll talk about England first, because that's the majority of you guys, and you listeners are mostly English, we believe. Not entertaining. Doesn't fill you much with hope, to be honest, for the World Cup. I'm addressing Michael here, really.
But we got the job done.
Oh, God.
The English way.
Yep.
Like Bob the Builder.
Yep. May as well have used agency workers and contractors, to be fair. But we
Or
got there.
Scoot, Look and Dizzy.
And Rolly too. We're in to the Russian World Cup. Excited, Michael? Think we're going to win it? Any chance? Any chance?
If we win it, I'll watch the final.
Well,
No,
that's
actually,
good.
because that's the wrong. I'll watch the final. No. Alright, just carry on.
You're going to watch the final if we win it.
If we get there.
So you're going to watch it after the fact. You're going to watch the you're gonna watch
the replay.
Yeah, literally.
Just
Sticking
hear
on
one
match of
guy
the day.
celebrating.
I like to think if England won the World Cup, there wouldn't be highlights that night. I'd imagine the likes of Ian Wright and Gary Lineker would be, running around the streets of London and Leicester, just completely half naked. Completely half naked? Don't know. Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised anyway. But so what's your actual feelings, you guys, about England's chances at the World Cup? Let's have a quick little moment on that, and then we'll move on from England. Because it's not very interesting, to be honest.
Depending if you start Joe Hart and John Stones, to be honest.
Well, Gareth Southgate, for some reason, seems to think Joe Hart is a important asset in the side.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Jack Butland.
Yep. Jack Butland is a goalkeeper.
And should be the permanent number one.
Okay. Well, any reason?
He's a lot better than Joe Hart.
Okay, good enough. Good enough.
Good analysis there. Yeah.
As you can see, our performance, talking about England, reflects the actual performance of the England side. So we'll move on.
Well,
we'll move on.
To just slightly butt in. I think you made a good point about England's chances at the World Cup would be if they were to find their identity. And I did actually read your tweets on it, and I did completely agree. I thought it was a very good point. As in, we do not have this is the way England play, or England score great goals from doing their usual. Like, we don't have, the England way is becoming scoring a last-minute winner in the qualifiers.
Which won't work out in the main tournament.
Exactly, because they won't be qualified.
Exactly.
No, I do completely agree. England need to find their style, need to find something that works for them, and they do just seem to be completely lacking an identity, a way of playing and a style of football.
Southgate has, against Lithuania, he tried this 3 at the back, so I think it was a 3-4-3 maybe, with I think Rashford and Dele Alli the wide man, kind of like Tottenham play, I think, is what he's modelling it off. But going to 3 at the back,
players in the game? Was how many Tottenham players started today?
there was
A fair few, wasn't there?
Trippier, Winks, Kane, and Ali, so 4. I
Wait,
think.
Wink.
Winks
Wink
started, yeah,
the-
'cause we'd already qualified.
Oh.
Yeah. He was eligible to play for Spain, so I'm pretty sure that's why they played him, just so Spain weren't, thinking of selecting him for the World Cup.
Oh yeah, I bet they would.
But yeah, no, he's trying to go to this 3 at the back system about 2 years after the likes of, Tottenham, Chelsea originally began. Well, Chelsea more a year ago, but like teams, he's not. It's not like he's a revolutionary in football. It's like he's sort of just following the crowd, and that's terrifying. I feel like we're going to get battered. Yeah, and I think our seeding's very good either, so we could get stuck in a pretty horrendous group. But hopefully we're not in the same group as Iceland, because they have previous against England and are on tremendous form. A 3-0 win away to Turkey secured their... Oh no, didn't secure it. Excuse me, getting ahead of myself. They're very much likely to qualify now. A 3-0 win away to Turkey. Croatia actually dropped points to at home to Finland, which was quite
insane,
extraordinary result, really. And when you consider the fact that Iceland have they have Kosovo at home next, I'm pretty sure we can say they're going to top the group.
Didn't Croatia sack their manager?
Yeah, I believe they did actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know that.
The final game's that against Ukraine, isn't it? And that decides who.
Mm.
Goes
Well, a
into
draw will
second
be good
place.
enough for Croatia.
And who is the best replacement for that manager to come back?
Who?
Slaven Bilic.
Oh,
Oh God.
I mean, he's surplus to requirements at West Ham by the sounds of things, depending on what newspaper you read at this point. But yeah, we suspect Iceland are probably going to go through, and like you say, that Croatia-Ukraine showdown is going to be interesting. Turkey with that loss to Iceland. I was actually talking to someone, I can't remember who. I think it might have been. Well, it doesn't matter who it was. Not a member of this podcast, basically. But if Turkey had beaten Iceland, the points going into that on the last day would have been 17, 17, 17, 16.
Yeah.
That group was so tight, but because Iceland playing Kosovo at home, you would imagine they won't slip up. But strange things have happened. So at the time you're listening to this, they may have already qualified. But yeah, I for one hope they're not in England's group. But yeah, that Croatia-Ukraine game, it's gonna be a big one. It's gonna be a big one. And Turkey hoping for a draw and maybe a chance to snatch it, although unlikely considering goal difference. But there's a lot of like showdowns, isn't there? Really, guys. We'll talk about the big sort of one, that sort of relatively British. Wales versus Ireland. Winner takes all in that group. Well, so let me break it down for you guys. Serbia sit top on 18 points. Wales 17. Republic of Ireland 16. So the winner of Republic of Ireland and Wales in Wales will take the second spot, guaranteed the playoff spot. As long as they're not one of the worst placed second place teams, which we will talk about on Wednesday's show. We're going to do a show on Wednesday, guys, if you want to listen to that, to sum up the final qualified teams and playoffs places and let you know who we think is going to go through in those playoff spots. But Wales, Republic of Ireland, another big one there. Serbia probably will win. They've been doing really well in that group and are at home to Georgia, but Georgia have sprung a few dodgy results in that group. So we'll see. But yeah, are either you guys watching that Croatia-Ukraine game or Wales Republic of Ireland game? You probably have your eyes on the scores, I imagine.
I think I might actually watch the Wales Island game. It does sound like it's going to be a good game, and also there's a lot riding on it.
Mm. So, what about you, Ellis? Are you going to watch either of them?
Depending on when they're on, really.
Yeah.
But I think the Croatia-Ukraine game sounds more interesting to me, at least.
Well, I'm going to watch Wales Republic of Ireland. Of course, last time these two met, Seamus Coleman, who's still out from that leg break from Neil Taylor. So this is going to be a feisty affair, and there are reports that the missing players such as Gareth Bale could be in the stands with their home fans. So that'll be good for them, a good morale booster. Plus, I don't think Wales are actually going to play the national anthem during the national anthem part of the game and let the actual fans sing it. So that'll be nice and produce a great atmosphere. So I'm really looking forward to that one as a neutral. Yeah, so the one game that looked like it was going to be a big decider was Sweden-Netherlands. Netherlands-Sweden. It's going to be in Netherlands for that game. Unfortunately for Dig Advocat, he said something along the lines, well, Ellis, I'll let you take it because this could have been a big showdown for second place. It's not going to be probably because of goal difference. And would you like to explain why?
So Dick Advocat, before the Netherlands, who did it play again? Netherlands?
It was Belarus, I think.
Oh, Belarus, yeah, exactly, yeah. Not Bulgaria, that's what I thought of. He basically said that Sweden won't win 8-0. It was impossible. That's something that wouldn't happen. And, that's exactly what happened.
It's unfortunate for him, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
It's taught him a lesson, though, to not say things like that. Never tempt fate.
I don't know. He's a questionable guy who's always done questionable things.
Yeah.
Was it Breda Hangelamp or something like that? He rubbed his leg with cheese or something to cure an injury.
Sounds made up, but
something crazy like that. He's just questionable. He's just questionable manager with some questionable techniques. But yeah, unfortunate. I mean, saying that, you wouldn't expect the team to win 8-0. I'd like to think, tell me if this happened, Elias, because I'd like to think Sweden could have scored a ninth, but decided not to, just to stick it to them a bit more. Did you miss an open goal by on purpose or anything?
Not really, but we probably could have scored 2 or 3 more.
So it looks like you're going to get that playoff spot. Of course, you do have a slight glimmer of hope of getting that automatic spot. You're 1 point behind Spain, but they
France.
are at home France. But they are at home to Belarus, so you'd imagine they'd probably win that game. But hey, anything can happen in football. I'll tell you that much now.
You thought France would beat Luxembourg at home?
It can't happen twice, surely not.
Oh, Dick Advocat, he's done it again.
What, has he said France are going to win?
Well, you've just said it, so it's the same logic.
Are you just compared me to Dick Advocat?
Well, half of his name.
Oh.
Elias, so do you fear losing to Netherlands 7-1?
No.
Because if you do, they will pip you to second. We could see the resurgence of Dutch football right here, right now.
7-1, it sounds like a result I've seen somewhere else in a World Cup somewhere.
Oh, here we go. The international stars piping up on the podcast.
I missed the 7-1. I'm lost here. Lost on the
Or
reference.
What, have
Germany?
you lost Germany,
Brazil?
in the
of course,
semi-finals?
yes. My apologies. My apologise. Yeah,
Just-
no, of course that happened.
Can I just bring it back to actual football talk? Ola Toivonen's last goal in that Sweden game.
It's insane.
How good is that goal? It's like a FIFA goal. It's incredible.
He only scores good goals. He scored that 60-yard screamer against
You're
France
gonna bring it up
in
again?
the last minute. Yeah. It's worth bringing up twice.
Don't suppose he's got any Belarusian blood in him, has he? He could
No,
perhaps come
I
on as a
think
quick 10-minute cameo against France. Give
Cameo?
Lloris some nightmares.
He said like it's some sort of pantomime rather than a football match. He's behind.
I mean, maybe if he did just stand in the stands like near the front, he could put off Lloris that much. He's probably horrified, but probably sees him in his dreams.
It's probably the best for the
Nightmares.
team because it's pretty average playing wise. He just scores goals sometimes.
Like Christian Benteke, but not at Crystal Palace.
Or Harry Kane.
Brilliant. Well, you're discrediting our podcast by saying things like that, Elias. People are going to start to think we don't know about football. But if you're saying you don't rate Harry Kane, then
Can I? No, yeah, I'm right. I rate Harry Kane, but I can use Lacazette as an example instead. That's more relevant, I think.
well, he did play for France in that 3-1 win over Belarus.
Did play.
If it was indeed 3-1, and if
he
he
also
indeed
played in
scored,
the 0-0 game against Luxembourg.
it was 1-0, and it was against Bulgaria. Netherlands won
What?
3-1. I'm getting
What?
confused. France won 1-0 away to Bulgaria. I thought they were
Yeah.
playing Belarus, but that's Netherlands. Getting wires crossed here, guys. Goodness me. International football, eh? Crazy. Right. So, another big showdown that's happening. Portugal-Switzerland, Tuesday night. Wow. Winner take all at the top of the group. We will see the winner of this game at World Cup 2018. Guaranteed. There is a chance we won't see Ronaldo at this World Cup. And
Is
he
he
will be...
retiring?
Well, Portugal may not get there, is what I'm saying. If they don't beat Switzerland, basically they will be dropping into that playoff spot. And he is chasing this Robert Lewandowski record. They've been taking each other over during this European Championships in terms of goal scoring and breaking this all-time qualification goal scoring record. Do you think Ronaldo's the sort of guy that will put this record ahead of Portugal qualifying for the World Cup? What do you think?
He probably could, but it feels like if he breaks the record, Portugal are going to get through. So he probably just has more motivation to score more goals.
But what I mean is he wouldn't set up someone for a goal because he wanted his own goal and cost them.
Oh,
that
you
way.
think? Yeah, you think like that? Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see Ronaldo
Yeah,
doing that.
yeah, definitely. I had no hesitation about it.
But in the same breath, I can see him scoring 3 goals and Portugal winning 3-0, 3-2, something like that. But yeah, but there is a possibility we won't see Ronaldo or Lionel Messi at this World Cup because let's cross the pond, the Atlantic Ocean, and head over to South America, where Argentina are having a really tough time of it, aren't they, guys? And are currently sixth, outside even the playoff spot in that group. Argentina, they've had a a shambolic qualifying campaign. To be fair, it's usually them and it tends to be them and Brazil fighting for that 1 and 2 spots really. But yeah, 6-6 outside. They play Ecuador away. Not an easy place to go, probably. But Ecuador are on terrible form. Lost their last 5, and yeah, so Argentina, fingers crossed for them. Because at the end of the day, I think we all want to see the best teams at the World Cup, and I think Argentina are one of the better teams in the world. Certainly, as an individual player standpoint, guys. What do you think?
Well, apparently not, since they're not
Yeah.
qualifying. So I feel like form. Can you use the cliche? That form is temporary. Class is permanent.
Goodness me.
But yeah, like they got great players in pretty much every position right now, but they're aging. They're really aging right now. We got some stars coming through like Dybala, and I don't know if you can call Lanzini like going through, but I think Lanzini has really improved in the recent year. Of course, being injured and not playing for West Ham for a while now, but yeah, it's just an aging team, and I think they're gonna have a slump for a while, especially when Messi decides to retire once more from international football.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if. I mean, I guess I know what you're saying when you said they're aging, because like some Mascherano that have been there a long time, Di Maria, Messi, like you say, probably getting toward not their end. That's harsh, but past their peaks, you could argue. But like you said, they've got players like Dybala coming through. He's been there. He's been around a while. But like Icardi and players like that, who are going to take these places. I think there's still enough quality. They shouldn't be even fighting for this space. The playoff players, they should already be qualified at this point. You probably haven't seen much of them. Like, if you have, I apologise. But what do you think, Michael? Do you think they're probably going to win this last game? It seems like this personality of a big team to win a game like this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously on paper they should. And, like you said, a big team in a big game that they'll want to win it because they'll want to get there. Like a lot of individual and team reputations on the line. But I did watch a lot of the game against Peru, and it did feel like a kind of one-man team mentality that Messi had. And it's
like tried to do too much kind of thing.
Well, it's not even that, because he did a ridiculous amount, but he just couldn't score. And there was like a lot of missed chances by. Is it Benedetto that played up front?
Yeah. Benedetto started. Yeah.
It was just but it didn't feel like Argentina as a team. It did feel like, well, Messi's our like Hall of Fame player, so we're going to let him play, kind of thing. It just, I think that's probably the problem. Like, they do obviously rely. Football's a team game. You can't have one player just playing, and that can't be the mentality either. So I think that's probably the problem. Well, that's from what I saw anyway. Like, Messi was sort of skipping past 2 or 3 players and then shooting from 30 yards out, and like he'd narrowly miss, but he didn't score. And there was another one where I think he played the ball into Gomez and just like blasted it straight at the keeper as he got too close. And it's just a team that's not playing well as a team, and I think Messi's frustrated with that. So it just gets worse because then Messi tries to play for himself to try and do it all himself and whatever. Yeah,
I see what you're saying. They have 18 points from 9 games where Messi played. Without him, because he had that spell where he was injured, they've really struggled. But the last 3 games Messi has played, and they've drawn away to Uruguay, which you could argue is a good result. But then at home to Venezuela, and then at home to Peru. The other, Colombia, Chile, and Peru have really given them the open door and allowed them to get back into this qualifying campaign.
Yeah, but they should be out. Like you said, they should be out of it. Really, if you think about it, with some of the results that the top, or like the 3 teams below Brazil have had, they really should be like completely out of the running for autumn, I think.
Yeah. Well, Brazil have qualified. I don't know if you guys have watched much of Brazil. I mean, they've got some obviously great players. They have a great team there. Only lost once during the whole of qualifying, which is a long qualifying campaign out there. 18 games in total. The likes of Paulinho have been playing really well. Coutinho's been playing really well. They've obviously got the likes of Gabriel Jesus, in the Premier League line of players. And of course Neymar as well. And Richarlison. But yeah, what do you got? All right,
Fernandinho.
Let's get the Chelsea one in. Yeah, so what do you guys think of Brazil's chance? Do you think they're going into it as one of the favourites, or do you think the last World Cup maybe took them back a peg, and they're probably not quite at that top tier anymore? What do you think?
I think they got quite a solid team, to be honest.
Yeah.
Especially looking at the defense, which I think like Brazil have been struggling with in the recent years. They're probably the most like average in quotation mark. Like field of players is probably the midfield. Like they got the likes of Fernandinho, they got the likes of
Casemiro.
Casemiro, indeed, yeah. But it's still like if you compare their attack and their defense to the midfield, I think the defense and attack they outshine that midfield. Even though Casemiro is coming through as such a good like defensive holding midfielder.
But do you not think that perhaps lack of individual talent will actually... Well, obviously they've got the likes of Neymar, that's a silly thing to say, but in that particular pocket where the players have got to be asked to do the unselfish jobs, like Paulinho and Casemiro and Fernandinho, like you say, do you not think that helps them, maybe?
Depending on if they can... Of course, all these players play in massive European teams, so they'll handle pressure, but if they can do it at a World Cup with... As we all know, the Brazilian fans are pretty skeptical when Brazil are doing bad. So it's just if they can handle the pressure. Of course, they're going to be playing in Russia now and not in Brazil, as they did the last World Cup. And I think that might help them, actually, because you could definitely see that when... let's bring up that 7-1 loss to Germany again. They could actually benefit from playing somewhere else where they don't have the massive support. But you can also argue that they need the massive support to perform. So it's really like a paradox. you don't really know how they're going to perform. It's just like if the individual players really show up, and that's
Yeah, I agree. It's like the pressure at home was maybe too much, but then the lack of support away is going to be too little, like cheering on or whatever you call it, encouragement. Yeah, I personally, I think Brazil are my favourites to win it based on their squad because of the amount of depth they have as well. Like they do have a pretty, what's forming into a pretty deep squad now. So you can't argue really that they can't rotate that team during the World Cup group stages to then go in very fresh to the latter stages, knockout stages.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about. Obviously, we're going to have a World Cup podcast in the summer. That's no doubt, guys. But yeah, Brazil definitely exciting. We'll talk about perhaps Uruguay and maybe the rest of this group, the qualifiers, on Wednesday's show. But the qualifying spot in this, the playoff spot in this is interesting because they'll actually face New Zealand in the playoff spot for the the what is it, Oceania, Oceania and South America spot. So they're probably hoping for probably Peru, who currently fill in that spot actually. But then again, maybe New Zealand could do Argentina over maybe in their current reign of form. I don't know. I don't know. Who if you were New Zealand, guys, who would you rather play? Peru, Argentina, Colombia, Chile?
I don't know, like Andorra.
Well, that's not an option.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they really have formed, and I don't know what kind of competition that New Zealand can do to any of those.
Pretty sure they play like 7 in the morning, so I've never seen them play.
They got Chris Wood up front, mate. Beat Solomon Isles 6-1.
Yeah.
Do you even watch football?
Well,
yeah, so that's the rest of South. We'll finalise South America on Wednesday, and we'll be talking about Argentina, whether they've qualified or not. And yeah, so interesting. So do you want to go north a bit, guys? You do not want to see the hand motion I just did. You want to go north a bit? Go into the CONCACAF group. Talk a bit about Mexico. Well, we won't talk about Mexico, but Costa Rica. Limbs at Costa Rica, guys. Last minute goal. Goodness me, guys.
Yeah.
You've seen this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a bit like I like Costa Rica just because there is a a former AK playing.
Joel Campbell.
No, he's not an AK player. No, it's Celso Borges. He's centre midfielder for Deportivo in the La Liga right now. I think they are. I don't think they got relegated last year, but they were
No,
close.
they're in there.
Yeah, and basically, yeah, we used to have Costa Rican flags at the AK games when he was there. He's a bit of a club legend, so that's why I've been following Costa Rica like quite a bit.
Oh, nice to see you got a second team. If you know, Sweden are unfortunate to make it. Did you know Joel Campbell's actually still on Arsenal's books?
Yes,
Don't know if you knew that.
No.
Yep.
Okay, well, apologies. United States currently sitting third with a chance of slipping out. Costa Rica, sorry, not Costa Rica. Trinidad and Tobago will have to beat United States. Which is unlikely considering they're bottom of the group. And Honduras will have to beat Mexico, and Panama will beat Costa Rica, who both teams have already qualified, so it could happen. But United States to fall out completely is very unlikely, I think, considering the fixture they have. Christian Pulisic proven to be a important player for them. Him and Clint Dempsey actually lead the group top scorers for this qualifying campaign. Leaking goals has been their problem. Should we talk about Christian Pulisic? If the United States do get there, which is looking probably quite likely, are you guys excited to seeing Christian Pulisic on such a big stage?
Yes.
Oh, Michael interested by a
Yeah, I actually like
Dortmund player.
Putting rivalries aside, yeah.
I have never really watched him like properly. So.
This is the thing. Obviously, he plays for a big club like Dortmund, and you catch him here and there in the Champions League. I mean, apart from Michael, me and Ellis aren't particularly huge Bundesliga watchers, but seeing players like that on the World Cup, on the world stage is really exciting. Like that's what the World Cup's about, isn't it, guys? I think
it's a new Landon Donovan. He'll come to England and do wonders.
I'm expecting Clint Dempsey as well to have a bit of a say.
Oh yeah.
Wonder what the odds are
Clint
on.
loves a good goal.
So what?
Clint loves a good USA goal, doesn't he? That's all he does, isn't it?
What scores goals?
For America. For nobody else.
America.
Hey, he was great for Spurs. I remember him scoring in the slash against Man United. Great.
Oh, okay. It just took me a while to work out what you know by slush, but
just snowy rain.
literal slush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Panama looking good. We'll talk about them if they qualify because we actually don't know much about them, viewers. Apologies. And Honduras, Wilson Palacios. Right. We'll go back over to Europe.
Wait, who was that guy called Honduras player for Wigan?
Wilson Palacios.
There was. I think there was another one.
Yeah, his brother. There's literally 3 Wilson
What?
Palacioses that played for Honduras the last time they qualified for a World Cup. I remember.
No, there's somebody else.
I also remember Wilson Palacios. I also remember Wilson Palacios' mum having a go at Harry Redknapp because Wilson Palacios wasn't getting a game, and then he picked him when his mum was in the stands. It's nice.
Figueroa.
That's it.
Figueroa, yeah.
Does he still play?
That's who I. The guy, yeah, he scored the 60-yard screamer, didn't he? That was Figueroa
from a quick free kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
What a guy! Honduras unlucky to concede that last-minute goal to Costa Rica, because they'd be in a very good position to qualify. Yeah, they'll be looking for Mexico to do them a favour and let them turn them over, and Panama. What's your opinion on teams that have already qualified? Do you think they're going to put on much of a fight, or do you think they're going to party hard into the night, guys? Like Costa Rica, after that goal, you've got to think their mind probably isn't on the last game of the group against Panama.
I feel like just football football associations are scared of FIFA right now, so they probably won't do anything too drastical to make them lose the qualifying spot, just field a team of 15-year-olds or something.
Yeah, I mean they've already named the squad. It's not like they can just pluck them from the under 21. That'd be a bit obvious, but
you never know.
It could happen. I don't even know if Honduras have an under 21 squad. No, Costa Rica. My apologies, but yeah. Wow. These accusations? questionable. Syria versus Australia ended 1-1. The first leg. The second leg in Oz, not in Malaysia, where Syria are currently playing their home games due to issues. The Wizard, excuse me.
The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, the Wizard of Oz. Tim Cahill to his friends.
Okay.
Australia looking to get a win against Syria. The winner of this, I believe, plays the CONCACAF playoff position. So much more likely of getting through than a team who has the prospect of facing the likes of Argentina. But yeah, Australia, they usually dominate and get through. I believe they were in the Oceania division, then moved to the Asian qualifying group for more competition. Could come back to bite them in the backside if they don't qualify here.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I don't really know that much about Australian football. Well, the actual football, not Australian football, like soccer rules. But not in the recent years. I don't really know. Is Tim Cahill still playing?
No, not.
He's not
I
playing.
mean,
Then I
he
don't
gets
know
in the squad,
anything.
but he's not in the start. The player probably Robbie Cruz,
Yeah.
the midfielder, and Moy as well from Huddersfield, and Matthew Ryan, the goalkeeper as well. Probably the names you'd know. But yeah, definitely not the side they were when they had the likes of
Lecky.
Harry Kewell and Mark Viduka.
Lecky, yeah.
Lecky as well
Yeah.
from Hertha.
Well, there you go.
Is it Hertha Berlin?
Yeah, he plays for Hertha right now, doesn't he?
Hertha Berlin, they lost to a Swedish mid-table side last week.
Isn't
I
he
didn't
managed by an
mention
English? Isn't he managed by an English guy?
Yes, he is. Oh,
Goodness
they
me.
are.
Yes, he is. Wow. Yeah. I mean, we won't talk about that. It's International Week, but maybe something you come back to soon. Englishmen
already
abroad.
mentioned it
He'll be a
last
section.
week.
Last week I forgot we were talking about Brazil, weren't we? Last week, of course, I mentioned we should probably have a little section for Neymar. Would you like to hear Neymar's antics from this week, or if either of you had
Yes.
heard, you're welcome to take it away.
No, inform us, Phil.
Well, I'll allow myself to inform you. Basically, Neymar, according to reports, Neymar, due to his loyalty bonus not being refused to be paid by Barcelona, actually has apparently asked UEFA to kick Barcelona out of the Champions League. Now, I'm not sure what his angle is. I'm not sure what sort of, I'm not sure what UEFA are going to do.
He's thrown his toys out the pram.
Literally. I mean,
But could this be part of like PSG are like, ooh, ruffle Barca up, so they're not a top team anymore? Go on, Neymar, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
well, who knows? I mean, it's a strange rivalry, not in the same country.
I don't understand why there's bad blood in it though. Like, I don't.
It's the whole Qatar thing, isn't it? Because obviously Barcelona was sponsored by Qatar, then they ended the sponsorship, and I think the Qatari Foundation people got a bit annoyed, so they bought Neymar off, and allegedly is basically.
You seem to know a lot about it, Phil.
Well, I'm a man on the inside. Yeah, that's what my reports suggest.
I'm a man on the inside.
I'll get him on the podcast if he comes
But
on.
what, are you on the out?
Oh my god.
But yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what other sort of soap opera like things Neymar gets up to. And it'll be great if they draw each themselves in the draw each other in the Champions League. I think that's what everyone wants: a Barcelona
And Barcelona will
PSG
play
final.
Barcelona since Catalan have
Oh
run.
my goodness! Well, according to that, the PSG chairman actually came out and said we don't want Barcelona playing La Liga, which is
Good,
interesting.
alright, fair enough.
Because obviously there's the reports going out that they're going to leave La Liga.
Yeah, but
Why would it? No, we're not having him here. No, I don't want him. Like, didn't even suggest it. We're like, no, he's not moving into my house. Well, nobody said anything. No, he's not coming here. I'm not having him anywhere near my house. It's just like.
Oh, yeah. So there's an interesting romance going on there. I'm sure they'll probably be best buds soon, maybe. Who knows? Who knows? Wow. Yeah. So, to Africa we go. A natural segue to Africa. Oh, Alex Iwobi, goal scorer for Nigeria, sending them to Russia. What are your guys' hopes for the African nations? They go one or two ways. They either have a terrible, or they go quite they have a surprisingly deep run into the competition. Mine brings back to the likes of Ghana, and Luis Suarez is hand of God, self-proclaimed. Yeah. So what do you guys think? So the teams that are qualified now from Africa are Nigeria, Senegal, pretty much there, and did you guys say Egypt literally just qualified?
Yeah, just now.
So what do you guys think of those? And what do you think? Who's got your highest hopes at this point?
You say there's more scenes of Salah scoring a penalty in the 95th minute to qualify them.
Wow.
Wow.
You could say Egypt are going to the top of the African football pyramid, but hey, I'm just a man with words. So go on, guys. Who do you think? What what African teams do you think are going to do the best in the World Cup?
I always think that Nigeria has got a pretty good chance to do well, but it's just if John Obi Mikel shows up, really.
I mean, they do have a lot of good players. So yeah, the likes of Iheanacho, obviously the combiners for the goal, Moses and Igalo, and the one who scored it, whose name I can't remember, Alex Iwobi. Apologies, there we go, got it in the end. And then so they're the Premier League names, and Musa as well. And then they've always had sort of a plethora of players, like some really good talent. Obviously, it goes back to the likes of Okocha and Kanu and players like that. Like they've obviously always had good players, and are probably one of the most well-known African nations in terms of footballing. Like, I don't know if you guys agree, but yeah.
Then on the Ivory Coast.
Yeah, Ghana, Cameroon, Senegal.
I don't know. Yeah, but they're more. I'd say they're more recent. I'd say Nigeria is probably the one who's. I mean, Cameroon probably outweighs them as a footballing nation, but like the likes of Ghana. What was it when you said, sorry? Senegal, they're more recent than them, but then we could disagree on that. Yeah, and then obviously Egypt seems to be, got some good players in the likes of Mo Salah and such. And then the other one,
he scores incredible amounts of goals for the international side. I think that was his 34th in like 56 games or something like that. So it's just, if he could replicate that goal scoring for Liverpool.
We're talking about Liverpool again.
Yeah,
they still get a mention even on this. But yeah. So good luck to them. Who was the other? Yeah, the other groups that haven't been finalised just yet. Tunisia need to beat Libya get a point against Libya to confirm their place in the World Cup. Cameroon won't be there, of a big nation. Algeria had a shocking campaign, recording 1 point so far. Morocco and Ivory Coast battling for that last spot in Group C. Senegal look to have the group sewn up because they do have an extra game to play, and they do face South Africa, who are bottom of that group. But still, Burkina Faso and Cape Verde have chances. And like we said, Egypt are getting through. So that's all the African players. We'll talk on Wednesday's show and give a full list and who our favourites are at this point of the competition. We'll head back to Europe. Germany's group. Northern Ireland securing that playoff place. I think they secured it some weeks back now, actually. But Germany top of that group. And Michael, you said your favourites at this point were Brazil. I think I've personally got to go Germany. They've been unbelievable with. I mean, they have players enough for 3 squads, pretty much, considering what they did at the Confederations Cup. I mean, you've got to be impressed by Germany. Sure, they've almost gone under the radar. They're so good. 9 wins from 9 games.
10. It's looking like at the moment as the beat Azerbaijan 2-1.
Sadrovaiden scoring one more. He scored twice now. Only scored 1 minute ago. So.
Well, we'll have the full-time result next episode.
Oh, he didn't
listeners.
score twice. Goretzka got the first. Sorry.
Yeah,
This is why we research. This is why we don't do live broadcasts.
But no, yeah, of course, I have Germany as front runners up there as well. But
This reminds me of a certain European Championship predictions episode.
no, I was just about to refer to the Euro. I was just saying you could say that that's a more recent thing that might set them back, but I don't know. What was having 2 teams as front runners is called a final. So
Depends,
There you go.
doesn't it? Depends on the brackets. So
I was referring to it from South America. I think Brazil are my front runner.
brilliant.
No, but seriously,
Germany, obviously, a top team, like you said, they've got oodles of depth.
Oodles, brilliant. Sounds like a German word. Oodles of strudels.
Yeah,
Strudels of depth.
they have many depths. Yeah, pretty much it.
Good. Alice, you want to add anything about Germany?
A lot of sharp players. That's good. Going to be
Die
successful.
Mannschaft? Ja, bitte.
See. Spain. Also a good team. They've pipped Italy to the top spot. Italy going to have to settle for a playoff spot now, and they are going to probably be the team to avoid in Europe in terms of playoffs. What do we think of Spain? What do you think of Spain? Because they do have a plethora of team, but obviously the likes of PK perhaps troubled with this whole Catalan thing, but it looks like he's just going to get on with it. Got hissed, I believe, not booed probably. Not there weren't. I mean, there are snakes everywhere in football. But yeah, he got a bit of thing. But hopefully that won't affect them too much, because when Spain play football, there's no one better on the international stage to watch when they're playing well.
Except Pitbull.
Oh.
You can
I thought
argue.
you were going to say Sweden, but then you've just come out with an absolutely outrageous suggestion.
Jerry
Alright.
Card.
I mean, what a better way to end than international love. There you go. Boom. Boom. Too bad we're not ending yet. We've got some other things to talk about.
Okay.
Well, that's it. You've lost half our listeners.
That's fine. That's fine. They'll be back. Yeah, so we were going to go from Germany to Bayern Munich's manager. Jupp Heynckes has been reappointed. That's how you pronounce it, isn't it? No, go on. Michael, pronounce it, please.
Jupp
You actually sound like you've nailed it for me.
Apologies. Apologies to
Don't
Big Yup.
mention it.
Yup. Yep.
Yup.
Yep. We'll move on. So, Michael, what do you think of the appointment? They say never go back. He's done it for a 3rd time. This is his 4th stint in charge. Left on a treble. Is it questionable, him going back to Bayern Munich at this point?
No, I don't think so. Well, his contract's just till the end of the season, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it is. I don't think it's questionable in this a manager that's proven for them. It is literally the definition of interim. I think it's just buying them time. I don't think it's just obviously to stop them rushing into something that's not going to work out. But though it's like, could it be like a Kenny Dalglish thing? Is he going to turn out to be?
No.
It's like, oh, he was this hero, and oh look, Bayern are relegated. I mean, it's not going to get that bad, but
No, I think he is there till the end of the season.
yeah, of course.
Which
but,
you'd assume means Tuchel's. Is it Tuchel? I'm pronounced that one right, aren't I?
Sure.
Shells.
Tuchel's, yeah. He's probably not going to be the man then, considering they could have, because he was a free agent,
Yeah.
free manager. So he's probably not going to be the man to replace
But
him.
maybe they want to give him a summer to work on it. I don't
Well, he's had a while. He left mid-season last year, didn't he? For Dortmund. Left Dortmund.
Yeah.
So it's not like he hasn't had time. But who knows?
Just hope that, I just hope that big Jupp is still there until the Champions League final. Bayern Munich versus Chelsea.
Well, if
I
he
mean,
does
Jupp
get to that Champions League final, perhaps he'll be given a lifelong contract like a young Andres Iniesta.
Young.
Young, yeah, young. Forever young. I have to start calling people who are around their mid-30s young, Elias, or I'm going to start feeling insecure soon.
So you should.
Brilliant, cheers.
Mid-30s, isn't Iniesta... Is he 33?
Yeah, I said almost mid-30s, around the mid-30s.
I thought he was 30.
He looks older. Okay.
I don't know if he looks old. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm just looking at pictures.
Yeah, he's 33, so made 639 appearances for Barcelona, but yeah, scored some important goals. Did he score
Is
one
that
against
more-
Chelsea, Elias?
I've
Specific.
never heard of anything like
No?
that.
Okay, but yeah, a great
Great.
ambassador of Spanish and Barcelona football. Yeah, been really good. Really. Who would you give a lifelong contract to, guys? Put you on the spot. If you could give anyone in anything a lifelong contract,
In anything.
just
What-
anyone, just anyone. I'm not even giving you preferably football, but if you can't think of one, just give Jeremy Clarkson a baking contract or something. I don't know. I'm saying I'm leaving your options open.
Right.
I would
Well-
have said Benny Hervedes for Schalke, but it's fucked up to Juve, so
Immediately broken.
so I'm gonna give it to Ralph Fairman.
Nice.
Actually, no, Leon Goretzka, because I don't want to lose him. In fact, just any
I mean, a lifelong contract doesn't mean they're never gonna leave. They can still be bought, but
marriage is what you're saying, Phil. That's what you're offering me here.
Can you be bought out of a marriage?
probably
Stranger things have
if the
happened.
transfer fee's high enough. If Arsenal were looking for a striker, I'm
Release
sure
clause.
Jesus Christ. Oh. I feel like we shouldn't be, stepping on the sanctuary of marriage. I don't know. I'm struggling here.
You are.
Big words aren't my forte.
He says Forte.
Oh goodness.
Alright.
Gargantuan.
Hmm.
That's a big word. There you go.
Yep.
Wow. Right. Okay. Well. Good. Glad. Yep. Yeah. You didn't give us the
Job.
lifelong contract thing, Elias.
No, because you've interrupted me several
I-
times. I'd give it to probably Alberto Moreno for Liverpool. something along those lines. I don't really have any players that I want to stay for. Maybe Azpilicueta actually for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Also Arsene Wenger for Arsenal, which is looking likely at this point.
Yeah. True. You know who I'd give one to?
Who?
Cavani at PSG.
I thought you were going to say Harry Kane and be really sloppy.
Imagine the outrage if Cavani got a lifelong contract as PSG.
Goodness me, Neymar would be.
I want him thrown out of the Champions League.
He was himself thrown out the Champions League. They throw him out of Liga Room.
Neymar, your contract. Don't care. Get him out.
That's exactly how I imagine he sounds in the boardroom. He's literally like, he just spits his dummy out. It's great. Oh, well. But Neymar, if you do ever want to come on the podcast, the door's always open.
Yeah.
Can he speak English, do you think?
Yes.
Because I can't speak Spanish or Portuguese.
Oh, yeah?
Right.
But hey. I'm just a man with a dream. Okay. So, we'll be back on Wednesday, guys, with our final rundown of this World Cup qualifying campaign. We'll give you our predictions. We'll give you a few previews of the Premier League action when we're back in the swing of things. Back on, home soil, as it were, in our comfort zone, and we can talk about the Premier League and enjoy it. So yeah. So I'll say goodbye then. Unless you guys have anything to add.
I'll add something.
Go on.
Goodbye.
Oh.
Oh, he's bamboozled you. I'll add something.
Correct.
Goodbye.
Whoa, this guy.
I'll add something. 3 + 2. It's 5. See you later, guys.